this ball to deep right field. Forget about it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. What a hell of a game that was. Let's go Dodgers. That's what I'm talking about right there. I am Greg Bergman at Bergman Greg on Twitter, at Bergman Greg on Instagram. This was exactly what you would like to see. An offensive explosion in the 6th inning against a great pitcher in Patrick Corbin, who everybody was really worried about. But, there was some things going on that made it a little bit more worrisome from the beginning. But the Dodgers pull out a gigantic Game 3 win, go up, win 10-4. Now they're up 2-1 in the series, and all of a sudden, they have home field advantage again. Everything has changed. Now we're excited about it again. It makes it a lot easier to digest it a little bit when you know already that it's going to be that the Dodgers have taken that from them. Now, let's go talk about what you guys want to talk about first. There was a great win. Everybody's excited. Hell yeah. Very nice. Kenley Jansen 1-2-3 in the 9th inning. So all of your worries about Kenley Jansen, not there anymore. All right, I got Organista24 says, nice cap MPG. Thank you very much. This is my Los Angeles Sangra Azul hat, and this is from Bleed Los at Bleed Los. You can find all this stuff there. Now is the time to go get that stuff. So please go over there right now. Ferris says, let's go on YouTube. Edward Vento says, don't let the vets get hot. Great win. Damn right, don't let the vets get hot. I mean, let's talk about David Freese for 2 seconds. 3 for 3, big hit after big hit after big hit, just doing what he is supposed to do. Love every second of it. And then Russell Martin. I mean, come on, Russell Martin with the gigantic two-out double that ended up bringing in a couple runs to make it 3-2. Huge at bats, and he had a 2-run home run as well. So there you go with that. Go Dodgers for Martin Alessio. Janice Day off. Crazy game. Yep. Russell Westfall on Facebook. Dodgers need the vets in the starting lineup. The postseason is for vets. Hamilton out. Yeah, now what to do with Kelly? Trash. Okay, see, I love people that do this. Dodgers come in 10-4 game and they find the one thing. We'll get to all that. Yes, Kelly was absolute trash in that game. But there's more to it than that. Let's get to that stuff a little bit later. Let's do the happy stuff first. The Dodgers won. We're happy. Everybody's happy. Let's go with the happy stuff first, right? I mean, look, we will get to Joe Kelly and how bad he was and how bad Pollock was and all those other things. We will get there, I promise you. Brian PLS says, can we talk about how bad Pollock has been? Yes, we'll get there in just a second. Joe Kelly lost his job from Evan Roussel. Well, yes, I mean, there's two different... It was a bad game from Joe Kelly. Absolutely. There's nothing else to say about the fact that, yes, Joe Kelly had a absolutely horrendous game. But Julio Urias came in and completely mopped everything up and got out of that inning very nicely. If we're going to thank somebody for that inning, we're going to thank Howie Kendrick. Howie Kendrick saved the Dodgers season right there because he probably would have gotten out of the inning anyway, but Howie Kendrick gave up 2 outs because he went from second to third on that fly ball, on that sac fly, and he got caught going to third when he should never have been going there, and he was stuck, and that was a veteran move that he should not have been trying to do. He should have known better. Over on the Instagram, we got said, talk about Ryu, Hojo2727. Look, Hyun-Jin Ryu was fantastic. Not fantastic. I don't want to say fantastic because that's maybe a little bit of hyperbole, right? So Hyun-Jin Ryu was good. Okay, he was good. He had a really bad first inning where he gave up the 2-run shot to Juan Soto. Besides that, he kind of cruised the rest of the way through, right? There was not a lot of negatives behind him after that. For the most part, he was. I'm trying to get the game scores up there right now. just to have all the numbers directly in front of me, because I always forget that stuff, and it's much easier when I can just look at it and see what I'm looking at here. All right, so but Hyun-Jin Ryu, he gave up a 2-run home run to Juan Soto, and after that, he kind of cruised. In the fifth inning, he was having a little bit of trouble. He got out of the inning, he got out of the jam, and then from then on, the Dodger bullpen was good minus Joe Kelly, because Joe Kelly came in the 6th inning, and he had a terrible outing. After that, it went exactly as you would expect. Julio Urias came in. He got the final 2 outs to get us out of that bases-loaded jam, or the minus 3 outs. See, this is what happens. I forget numbers sometimes when this happens. Julio Urias he got 3 outs. He ended up getting all 3 outs, and then came in the next inning and got the next 3 guys out. It was a quick inning, very easy. Right from there, you go to Adam Kolarek against Juan Soto, who, by the way, Adam Kolarek now 3 for 3 against Juan Soto. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. So the winner of that battle is, you guessed it, it is Adam Kolarek. And after that, then you go to Kenta Maeda for 0.2 of an inning. He went real quick, 1-2, still available tomorrow night. And then Kenley Jansen came in. 9 pitches, people. Kenley Jansen got out of the 9th inning with a 6-run lead, granted with a 6-run lead, with 9 pitches. So if he needs to be in a situation tomorrow, I don't really like him on back-to-back days, especially what we've seen from him on back-to-back days. But instead, he got 9 pitches. He's going to get right out of it. Let's see. Al's Acoustic, what happened to Showtime yesterday? What happened? Showtime I'm in the middle of Dodgers right now. I'm in Dodger post-game mode. I can't just randomly do a 4th day in a row of, actually, it would have been 5 days in a row of doing post-games with the Lakers. I decided to take a break from that until the postseason is over with the Dodgers. Once Dodger postseason over, I'll take like a week, and then I'll come back and I'll start doing Showtime postgame shows. All right, so don't worry about those postgame shows; they will be there. Selly Sells, 6th inning was what the team needed. It was a gigantic boost. The 6th inning was more than just a gigantic boost for a guy like for Russell Martin, who absolutely hammered balls tonight, which was great to see. But it was more so Cody Bellinger getting 2 hits in that game. He got 2 hits in that same 6th inning. Very, very important that he did that. And then then he had another shot. It was in the 8th inning, I believe, where he just barely missed a home run by probably about 5 to 10 feet. So just get a little bit more there, he would have gone deeper. So if Cody Bellinger is starting to feel right, this is what Dave Roberts was saying before the game. If Cody Bellinger just gets a hold of one, all he has to do is just get 1 hit, and then he'll start moving and he'll start churning, and it looks like hopefully that's what happened. Now, there's 2 sides to every story, right? There's the guys that did exceptionally well. You had David Freese go 3 for 3. Russell Martin had a couple hits with a huge home run. Justin Turner had a bunch of hits, with including a 3-run home run that really put the game out of reach. Corey Seager got a hit, but the biggest thing we talked about Cody Bellinger, AJ Pollock did not get a hit, and AJ Pollock did not get any types of hits whatsoever. AJ Pollock has not gotten a hit at all in this entire postseason period. In fact, AJ Pollock is now 0 for 11, I believe, or 0 for 12 with 10 strikeouts. Or if he had 3 strikeouts tonight, he had 6 strikeouts. So it's actually, I'm sorry, he's 0 for 11 with 9 strikeouts in this series. 9 strikeouts in this series. You're done, dude. I'm done with you. You're out. No more AJ Pollock. There's no reason. We'll try you again in the next round. I do not want to see you unless you're coming off the bench as a pinch hitter and hopefully getting a hit. Be like David Freese. Get some hits coming off the bench. If there needs to be some kind of switch going on, fine. If some kind of a lefty comes in and you need him as a lefty righty bat off the bench against a lefty, there you go. There's your AJ Pollock moment. Besides that, I do not want him starting anymore. I can't watch AJ Pollock take 4 at-bats and strike out 3 of them any longer. No thank you, no sir, no ma'am, none of it. I'm done with AJ Pollock. Now, we have to pick somebody to go into that situation afterwards now. Who's going to take over for Pollock? And a lot of you are going to say Chris Taylor or Kike Hernandez. I think the right answer is Kike Hernandez. Hernandez seemed to have better at-bats tonight than Chris Taylor did. I know Chris Taylor's probably going to get that start, but Kike in the postseason has been good. Remember a couple years ago, he did have those 3 home runs in one game against the Cubs. So he knows how to play in the postseason. CT3 is another guy that can possibly do it, but I liked the at-bats better from Kike tonight than I did from Chris Taylor, and because of that, I'm going strictly off of tonight. Kike is the right answer here. Kike got a hit. He got a walk. I think he might have struck out after that, but still, he was good. Chris Taylor was just over with a walk and not really doing all that much. Kike at least got a hit and a couple RBIs and a walk. So I'm okay with I like that idea better. Caustic 187, Kike is solid, but Taylor I think is better in the outfield. I think they both can play the outfield just fine. And now everything can change too. It really depends. You're going up against Max Scherzer tomorrow, who is a righty, which you would expect then Gavin Lux to get that spot again. It just depends. Do you want to go with Gavin Lux again, or do you want to maybe bring in David Freese, who was 3 for 3 tonight and had a hell of a game, and then just move Max Muncy over to second base, who also had a hell of a game? So both of those guys have a chance to all three of those guys have a chance to play tomorrow, because you have an outfield spot wide open in left field, whether it's going to be, because I've got to believe that AJ Pollock is not going to be starting tomorrow, meaning that Taylor and Kike one of those two can take that spot. Me personally, I'm going Kike, and then I'm going to have Jock in right and Cody Bellinger in center field like normal. Then I have Muncy and Lux. I'm still going to go Lux there and have David Freese off the bench. Professional hitter David Freese, by the way, who was really, really good. I also need to talk about some of the other negatives. So yes, we're going to talk about some of the negative again too, because they can't just talk about all the positives, especially in a 10-4 game. There has to be some negative. And that also, the other one is Joe Kelly. There are two types of Joe Kellys in this world. He has two different abilities to him. Either he is fantastic, unhittable, throwing 99 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour, and then using a changeup and getting down in the 89 miles an hour, and really just keeping guys completely off balance, using the two-seamer just to perfection. And then there's the Joe Kelly that we saw tonight, where he cannot find anything. He cannot find the plate to save his life. He's all over the place. He's throwing high, he's throwing low, he's throwing outside, he's throwing inside. He just doesn't have a feel for the plate, and that's what we saw tonight. We saw that Joe Kelly tonight, the bad Joe Kelly tonight. So when he is in that range, you can't go with him. So you got to go back to him at some point. Yes, you have to, because you need a good Joe Kelly tomorrow night and possibly even in Game 5 or even the NLCS and in the World Series. So you don't just give up on the guy. It's not time to just say, bye, Joe Kelly. You had one bad outing. You're done. It's not going to work out that way. He's going to get more chances, and we need to get him back to who he was. So you need to see that you actually believe in him. And if he can come out and be the original Joe Kelly, the former Joe Kelly, and not the latter Joe Kelly, the one that's all over the place, then that's going to be great for this Dodger team because of what he can bring to the pitching staff, to the bullpen. So another one of those situations where Joe Kelly, really, really bad, you go back to him again in an inning like that. When you have this type of game again, in a sixth inning type of thing, when you have a big lead, that's when you go back to him just to make sure that he's got his stuff again. And if he has his stuff again, you start trusting on him again. Super X Ruby, no more AJ Pollock. He needs to leave the Dodgers. He's garbage and has been garbage all year. I disagree with that. I don't think that he's garbage all year. He's been hurt in and out, but he's out. But when he's been in, he's usually been good. This has been awful. He is supposed to be a lefty killer. He has not been that lefty killer this entire year or this entire postseason. This postseason, AJ Pollock has been bad. So now that we got this, we're moving him out. I'm moving out on AJ Pollock. We're not for this series. He is coming off the bench, and that is it. So now, for this topic of conversation, we can move on from AJ Pollock because really it's not important anymore. Garcia B49er, is it me or are the Nats bullpen questionable? John Ireland. yeah. So this is what we always trying to talk about when it goes to when we're the last two post games. Even after the loss in Game 2, which was bad. It didn't feel good. It always hurts to get that loss. The difference is it was always what we said. Get to the Nationals bullpen. Get to the Nationals bullpen. Get to it. And look what happened. You got to the Nationals bullpen and you put 9 runs. 9 runs on the Nationals bullpen. And that's including 6 runs on Patrick Corbin. And let me tell you something about this Patrick Corbin outing that he had here. I think that Patrick Corbin outing was absolutely huge for the Dodgers. Patrick Corbin came in, he pitched 1 inning, and I think he had somewhere around like 35 pitches. And now you think to yourself, oh, that's just a normal bullpen day. Doesn't matter. Today was his bullpen day anyway. He comes in, goes, if he needs to go on Wednesday, he can go on Wednesday. He'll be just fine. Not so fast. A bullpen is a very low energy. It's not a very high intensity situation. He came into this game in a very high intense situation where he could not get out of the inning. And he was bad, like straight up awful, bad Patrick Corbin. And that was just, and the Dodgers figured him out. They were on 0-2 counts. They were figuring him out. They were fouling away pitches that they needed to foul away. They weren't swinging at the bad pitches that he was throwing in the dirt, and they were being patient, which was totally different than what they were doing before, although they did do it at the first inning of game one. But this is what happens again. If you can, you've now seen him twice, you beat up on him the second time, and now you're going to possibly see him again on Wednesday where he has to start after he's just went through a really intense, high leverage situation for him in the postseason. In a very big game where now when he gets into that game, totally different mindset. Now the Dodgers know him. Now the Dodgers know that they can hit him. Cody Bellinger knows he can hit them. Everybody else can. Everybody that went out is able to. Here's the line for Patrick Corbin. 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks. That's not going to get it done. That's just not going to get it done for them. And so now I don't have as much worry as I do on Wednesday, knowing that he's going to be the starter in that game. I think they can get to him again. I think that the same exact thing now will be a third time seeing him in a week. You're going to be able to, because you saw him on Thursday, then you saw him on Sunday, and then you saw him on Wednesday. You see that same pitcher 3 times. You're going to be able to figure them out. If they didn't figure him out today, they were going to figure him out on Wednesday, and they figured him out today, so now they got him. Got him right where they want him on Wednesday. Hopefully he doesn't even get there, because tomorrow night, Max Scherzer versus Rich Hill. Whatever we get out of Rich Hill is what we get out of Rich Hill. Here's what to expect from Rich Hill. Don't expect more than 3 innings. Probably about what he'll go. If he can go longer, great. That'll be fantastic. We'll be all for it. You'll have Destin May behind him. He's going to go about 3 innings. He's going to have about 5-6 strikeouts. He's also going to walk a couple guys, so don't get a little bit stressed out when he walks guys. He walks guys. He uses different arm angles, has a whole bunch of different curveballs, and sometimes they land and sometimes they don't, and sometimes guys swing at them outside of the zone and sometimes they don't. He is going to walk guys. Probably 2-3 walks, have about 6 Ks. It's going to be everything's going to happen where he's going to be able to get a bunch of guys out, hopefully go scoreless through his 3, 4, 5 innings, whatever he can handle, and then you'll have Dustin May behind him and moving forward. Max Scherzer, on the other hand, Max Scherzer was good the other night in Game 2 when he came out and looked great. Was hitting like 99, 100 on the gun. But still, he's a guy that in the postseason, specifically in the postseason, has not been all that great. And he wasn't all that great versus Milwaukee either. All right, let's go back to some of your comments because I've been talking your heads off. Tree Martinez says, Dick Mountain, which is huge. All right, yes, from Mason Ireland. I know I've said that many. It was a mistake. The Black Ted Turner says, you don't think it's going to be Strasburg on Wednesday? Yes, I do not think it's going to be Strasburg. Well, you know what? It depends. Here's the situation, okay? So Strasburg went in Game 2, and is that for sure Danny Boy 1911 that they're saying that Game 5 Strauss is the starter? Because if not, that means that he cannot come out of the pen tomorrow, and they want to use guys out of the pen. It's confirmed. All right, thank you very much, Danny Boy. I did not hear that confirmation, but yes, then it's Strasburg on Wednesday, which that one scares me a little bit more because it was it. But also, Beto Vision is right. What's up, Beto? No Game 5. Totally agree. No Game 5. And I was talking about it with Matthew Moreno from Dodger Blue 1958 on the way out of Dodger Stadium on Friday. We were walking out of Dodger Stadium. We're like, all right, so what do you think about this game? What is going to happen? And we both thought that if the Dodgers win on Sunday, which is today, that the Dodgers take the game in Game 4. They win Game 4, and that's it. If it was the opposite way, we still thought they win Game 4 and go to Game 5, but we think that it's over right here in Game 4. So that's our guess. Can't give up on Kelly from Jess Castaneda. Agreed with you. Brandon Wong on Facebook also. He was great in Game 1, but tonight, blah. You know what? That's why some guys go up and down. Hopefully we see the right Joe Kelly when it matters coming up soon. Jerry Wyatt, Facebook also. Dodgers own Strickland no matter who he pitches for. It's not just the Dodgers that own Hunter Strickland, by the way. Hunter Strickland is owned by every team that comes out there. Remember that, who was it? It was Bryce Harper hit a couple from him when he was playing in Washington and he was in San Francisco. Hunter Strickland himself has given up 9 home runs in 13 appearances in the postseason. 9 home runs in 13 appearances. Why did they think that was going to be a good situation for them? He's come in and given up 2 home runs just in this. It's just ridiculous. No chance. Laura Montes on Facebook. Everyone was horrible in the first 2 games. Hitting is contagious. The boys will get back on track like today. Agreed. That's exactly what you're hoping for. But remember, I mean, in game 1 they got 6. They ended up with 6 runs and they won 6-0. Then they couldn't get anything going against Strasburg, and then it fell apart. But they had the chance against the bullpen in the 9th inning, bottom of the 9th, bases loaded, Corey Seager, and he struck out, which was too bad. But either way, the bullpen, you can tell, is already really bad. I mean, just look at the bullpen tonight. Again, 6 runs from Patrick Corbin. Suero gave up a run. Fernando Rodney got guys on base with a hit and 2 walks, get bases loaded. Tanner Rainey was actually a little bit better tonight, but then Hunter Strickland came in and gave up 2 more runs. So just from the bullpen alone, you got, 9 runs. 9 runs off the bullpen. Crazy. Way too many, and that's why it's not going to work out for them. All right, back over to the Periscope. Selly Sells. Dodgers crushed him. Yes, they did. Can Patrick Corbin pitch again tomorrow? Brandon Wong? I guess technically he could. I don't know if he would, especially after he got beat up like that. Double Dribble 17. The man, the myth, the legend, Double Dribble 17, who loves to come on my Twitter and say the sky is falling. The first inning happens, and all of a sudden, in the bottom of the first, there's 1 run. They score. Juan Soto puts up 2 runs. That's it. Game over. Series over. This is not. The Dodgers are done for the entire year. Not even are they not done for the entire year. That's it. It's over forever. Goodbye, baseball for the Dodgers. It's over. That's Double Dribble 17 on Twitter with me. I know he's trying to reverse jinx them, he says, after everything goes well, but Double Dribble, you're wrong. He's not going. He's saying Game 5 Strasburg. I was wrong about that. Look, I'm not looking at anything else. I'm just watching the game, and then as soon as the game's over, I'm coming on here and talking to you guys. So if I don't see the post-game reports and all that kind of stuff, I find that out later on. So if you guys are welcome to come tell me everything that's happening, that's hearing in those post games. But, watch this too. That's important. DVDs for sale. Thank God we didn't go down 2-1 having to get through Scherzer and Strasburg. By the way, I know we've talked about this in past post games, but DVDs for sale is your handle. DVDs for sale. Does anybody ever say oh, I really need a couple of DVDs. Let me go into this guy that's selling them online. DVDs for sale. It's fantastic. BI14 Go. Keep Martin or go back to Will Smith. Most likely they'll go back to Will Smith. It really just depends on, I would think, because of what you're going to have the other guys. I would think they're going to go back to Will Smith. Although, if Martin had such a great game like that, he is a little bit older, 36, 37, somewhere around there, and he's going to have to go and pitch or go on back-to-back days. Probably not exactly what he wants, but I could see them going. I would most likely expect them to go back to Will Smith. Hamilton Au, who is probably something negative. Remember, Bergman, you said last night the team will score 3 or 4 runs off Scherzer. Let's see if you're absolutely right or just smoking crack. Well, it was 2 nights ago, Hamilton, and I still believe that. From everything that I've seen from Max Scherzer in the postseason for his entire career, is said to me that he is going to give up runs. The way that this Dodgers team is, can we not remember that that the Dodgers won 106 games this year by playing the right baseball the right way, being patient? It didn't really happen as much in Game 2 because Strasburg completely held them off balance. And by the way, Anibal Sanchez in the first 5 innings was doing the exact same thing. Anibal Sanchez was using off-speed pitch after off-speed pitch after off-speed pitch, change-up, and he was getting in front of every single hitter, and they could not figure him out because as soon as they were expecting that off speed, he would come with a 92 mile per hour fastball right in a corner of a zone, and they swung right past it or just let it go because they thought it was going to drop out of the zone. Totally held them off balance. The Dodgers, and I've stressed this a ton of times in these post games, are great against velocity. When it comes, if they're hitting 96 plus, they're one of the best teams in baseball against 96 plus, which we're seeing against the bullpen, by the way, too. But Anibal Sanchez was not that guy. He was keeping them completely off balance, throwing lighter pitches, and they just couldn't figure it out, just at all. And that was the same kind of thing that was happening with Strasburg on Friday, where Strasburg was throwing curveball, off-speed pitch, and then bam, 96 miles an hour right past your face, and you're like, oh, Jesus. You have nothing to do. You're at 0-2 count, and you're screwed. 0-2, 1-2, and then you have to be swinging away. bad baseball. But once they start figuring guys out, and I feel like they can do this against Ben Scherzer more than they can against some of the other guys. Patient at bats. I think you're going to see that a lot more tomorrow. Irwin and Fire. I saw Mason at game 2. They lost. Tell him to stop going to games. By the way, look, this is what I was trying to say after game 2. I went to game 1. The Dodgers won. I went to game 2, and so did Mason. The Dodgers lost. I mean, there's only one common denominator there. When Mason's there, they lose. I'm just saying. JAB Cam LA. Dope hat. Los Angeles Sangre Azul. Yes, I love this hat. This is from Bleed Los. Bleed Los, BLEEDLOS. Go there right now. All this stuff. This hat, this shirt, that Funky Muncie shirt. I love my Funky Muncie shirt because, by the way, Max Muncy is a man in the postseason. That dude knows how to hit in the postseason. He's been they just walk him because they don't even want to deal with him. They walked him in the 9th inning on the Friday because they were afraid of what he could do. He was the tying run, and they put him on base. They didn't even care. They say, forget it. We're not letting Max Muncy beat us. That Funky Muncy, that dude's the real deal. Julio Urias was solid, has been solid. He was great in both of his outings. And then tonight, 2 innings, great ball. He didn't even throw that many pitches in those 2 innings. I'm assuming he's not going to be able to pitch tomorrow. If they need him, then I guarantee he'll be there. But they're going to try and go without using him, I would assume. He only threw, he threw 15 pitches in 2 innings. You know why? Because he got the sac fly that ended up being a double play because Howie Kendrick did something stupid and tried to just take third on that sac fly, thinking they were going to go home with it. I mean, that was a deep fly ball. Bad move by Howie Kendrick. And now Howie Kendrick, MVP Howie Kendrick, by the way, game 1, 2 errors, allowed 2 runs to score. Now again tonight has a base running error. Took him basically out of the game completely. Instead of having first and second with 1 out, they had man on first with 2 outs. So that was a big mistake from Howie Kendrick. So we very well could see him again. Thanks for the compliment. You're welcome, Double Dribble. I'm always here for you. But you're always here for me, but only in the postseason. Let's see. Koyotsin Tenna from YouTube. If Hill comes out after 3 or 4 innings, who would you put in? Go Dodgers. I would put in Dustin May. I know he wasn't the best in the game on Friday, but Dustin, that's kind of why he's there. And if it's not Dustin May, it's Ross Stripling, who we really haven't seen yet either. It's going to be a long reliever, somebody that can go multiple innings, 2, 3 innings easily, and then having somebody else behind him to do the exact same thing. I would assume you're going to get a mixture of either Dustin May or Ross Stripling. Maybe not May because he pitched on Friday and wasn't the best, and you might see Stripling in that situation and because they'll trust him a little bit more because he has been good in the postseason. So I would assume it'd be one of those two. Jorge Estrada 11. Freeze got to start all games from now on. He is a postseason player. I agree he is a postseason player, but I still like him off the bench. I could see them doing that, though, where they go with Freeze at first and then just move Muncy over to second and just have it like that. But I still like Gavin Lux. I think he still has pretty good at-bats. He's still a little bit young. He doesn't fear the moment as much as I really thought he was going to. But I think that I want to still give him another shot, especially with the 2-1 lead now. I think you go back to Lux. But if anything, if he's starting to strike out again, out the door, pull in Taylor, put in Kike. One of those 2 guys can play a great second base, and even Max Muncy has been playing a very good second base. Dodger 35, 22-10. Is Kershaw out of the bullpen, or are they saving him? Kershaw would be out of the bullpen. Kershaw will be used if they need him. I don't know if they'll use him. Maybe they'll use him in Game 4, but I don't think they'll use Walker Buehler because I think they want to save Walker Buehler for Game 5 just in case, or even go back to Walker Buehler for Game 1 for the NLCS. So I would not expect to see Walker Buehler in Game 4, although it's possible, but I would say that they would probably hold off to him not. But Clayton Kershaw out of the bullpen, yes, very well could see him there. Roro Cub says, when are you doing a purple and gold review? Did I miss it? I'm not going to do any purple and gold reviews until after the postseason. I think it's just too much. Just because I'm doing these are every other day or every other day. So I'm be doing like 4 and 5 days, which is going to happen tomorrow. When I do this again tomorrow night after Game 4, that's 4 and 5 days that I'm going to be doing these post games. If I did it on Saturday for the first game, which I thought about doing, that'd be 5 days in a row, and I just thought it was too much. Just the 3 of us. Can Patrick Corbin please pitch tomorrow to got him? to get him. Look, if he does, he does. But they're gonna throw everyone out there. They know how bad their bullpen is, so they're gonna throw Patrick Corbin out there again. I would assume. Maybe even. I mean, I don't think you can throw Anibal Sanchez again, but I think they would go to Strasburg if they needed to. I think they would use guys as much as possible because they used Strasburg on Wednesday last week in the NL wild card, and then used him on Friday for NLDS Game 1, so they could do the exact same thing where they threw him on Friday, throw him for an inning on Monday, and then go to him again on Wednesday. They know they can't go to their bullpen. They need to use starters, so they're going to keep going back to that well because they know once you bring in any of these guys you can't bring Hunter Strickland in again. You're not going to bring in Fernando Rodney. All these guys are just getting beaten up. I'm Dodgers fan 34. He's Dodgers fan 34. There's Dodgers fan 33 over here and probably Dodgers fan 36 somewhere else. But he says, I love my boys. Nothing will be given. They must earn every win. This is our year. Yes, I love that we're back to being positive. My feed was just filled with such negativity after the Game 2 loss. Look, let's be honest, okay? Let's all just realize the Dodgers are not going to win every game in the postseason. They are going to lose games. They did not go 11-0, and they're not going to go 11-1. Right now it's 2-1. They can still win a bunch of games, and I would love it if they went 11-1. There's going to be some games where they lose, and especially in a 7-game series, they may lose 1-3, but I think they're going to go all the way into the World Series. I still believe this is their year. I just do. Kevin Reyes, why didn't Gonsolin make the roster? Do you know? Well, yes, Kevin. For the most part, basically, Gonsolin didn't make the postseason roster because he was there in case Rich Hill did not make the postseason roster. If Rich Hill was not ready, Tony Gonsolin would have. And then you have Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin are basically the same guy, where they both are long relievers. They're going to be coming out of the pen. They're both right-handed. They both can go multiple innings. Same with Ross Stripling, kind of all do the exact same thing. Ross Stripling was already making the postseason roster. That was never in doubt. And so they went with Dustin May because Dustin May in September was fantastic. 0 runs, 14 Ks. He was really, really good, whereas Tony Gonsolin gave up a couple runs. He gave up, I think, something like 4 runs and only 14 Ks to 15 or 15 to 14, something like that. But it was a different... Dustin May outpitched Tony Gonsolin in September based by the numbers, and you know how much they love the numbers. Dub Quacker 7, do you like our chances against the Braves or the Cardinals after watching the first 3 games? Yeah, I do, because especially if it's the Cardinals. I don't think it's going to be the Cardinals. I never did. But even if it was the Cardinals, have you seen what happens to Carlos Martinez at the end of games? Carlos Martinez has blown both games. He's given up runs in both games that he's pitched in. Absolutely not. I don't think that the Cardinals have a chance, and I don't think that their back of the bullpen, terrible too. The Braves, on the other hand, again, another bullpen that is just getting hit up left and right over and over again. Not so much tonight. I mean, their starting pitching was really, really good, especially the last 2 days for the Braves. Matt Soroka and what was his name? I want to say Tim Fedorovich, but it's not Tim Fedorovich. It's help me out with the name. I know you guys know it. I know you guys know it with the Braves. He was the number 1 starter last year. He pitched a hell of a game in this game yesterday or on Friday. I'm blanking on his name, but it's some long, stupid name. Fulton Nevich. Thank you. I didn't see anybody put it up there, but yes, Fulton Nevich pitched I almost cursed. I was this close. Pitched a hell of a game. Was a really, really strong game and was not. So I think thank you for getting Fulton Nevich up there now. But yeah, those 2 guys have been fantastic. Really, really good. But I still think they have a chance against them because I don't like their bullpen. The back end of their bullpen is really, really bad too. I trust the Dodgers bullpen, who was, by the way, let's just throw it out there again. I have to every single time because I know most of you don't believe it. The Dodgers had the 4th best bullpen in all of baseball. All of baseball. Number 1 in the National League. That's number 1 in the National League. So just remember that. Nats bullpen is weak. Glory Locks Fabum 760. Yes, you are 100% correct. Machine Gun Kelly just control issue, right? That's what I'm hoping. But he had a whole body issue. He wasn't really pitching in September, especially at the end. What's with all the strikeouts? 15K tonight. Well, because they had 9 Ks tonight against Anibal Sanchez, and that's not because Anibal Sanchez is some overpowering dominant pitcher. It's because Anibal Sanchez was throwing off-speed pitches. He was throwing changeups, and he was keeping guys completely off balance, and they could not figure him out whatsoever. And so to get him out in the 5th inning, after the 5th inning, was huge. Getting the home run off of him from Max Muncy was a big deal that took him out of the game, and then all of a sudden from there, the offense just shut off. And that's what this Dodger offense wants to do. We talk about it all the time. They want to get to your bullpen. They will destroy your bullpen. Most bullpens are made up of guys that throw between 96 and 100 miles an hour. That goes right into the hands of the Dodgers, who destroy high-velocity pitchers. They're having trouble recently, especially against the off-speed pitches. They can't hit the 88 mile an hour changeup. They can't hit the, when it drops down to 82, 84 mile an hour curveball or whatever it happens to be. They're having trouble with those pitches. But when it comes to heat, they just destroy it, and you saw it a bunch today too. Bellinger is 2 for 21 this postseason, but he had 2 hits in the same inning, and he had another one that would just barely miss going out at the end of the game. So I'm hoping he's getting back to that spot. M. Lepe 23. How many innings will Rich Hill pitch tomorrow? We talked about it a little bit, but I think he's going to go about 3. If he anything more than 3, and I'm ecstatic. That means that he's pitching well. He hasn't given up any runs, and he's out there and he understands how he's feeling, and he's going well. When he pitches in the postseason, he's a guy that goes 6-7 innings. He hasn't been right because he's only on like one leg, but if he's right and he can go longer than 3 innings, 4 innings, 5 innings, 6 innings, somewhere around there, I'm ecstatic. Because that means he's pitching really, really well to get up to that point. Freeze is a game changer. Lupe Aguilar. Yes, he absolutely is. He came in, went 3 for 3 coming in. It's great. Ragnar 026344179. I love all the long numbers. It just makes it so much easier to do this. Bellinger will finally break his postseason demons. That's what we're hoping for. I would rather see Gonsolin instead of Kershaw. I know everyone's down on Kershaw. He'll be fine. He's coming out of the bench, out of the bullpen when they need him, and he's been good out of the bullpen. Masanori Kishihara. Again, hope I said that correctly. Every game is going to be tough, so we have to be patient. Can't miss mistakes. Can't make Nats pay. Go Dodgers. I mean, he's 100% correct. Those are the exact right things that they need to do. S. Greenland 27, Gonsolin over Chicken Strip. Chicken Strip has been in the postseason the last 2 years. He's pitched well in those games in the postseason. I don't think he's actually given up a run, period, in the postseason. Not very many innings, so very, very small sample size, but I don't think he's given up anything, and because he hasn't given up anything, they're going to go with him, and they're going with that experience. Put it this way, if you went with Gonsolin in May, you're bringing 2 guys that aren't even rookies yet. They'll be rookies next year. They got brought up so late, they are not even rookies. So that means you're bringing 2 completely young guys up, and you're banking on them in the postseason. Not going to happen. Ross Stripling is the right guy in that situation. Joe Cool 1967. Any chance we will see Kenta again tomorrow? Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, he only went 1 inning, and in that inning, he only threw 5 pitches. He threw 5 pitches. I mean, I want to just go to the end of this bullpen that we got to, okay? So after Rue went 5 innings, Kelly was terrible through 22, and he was awful, and he had to take him out. He didn't even get an out. Julio Urias after that, 15 pitches. Gonna be ready again tomorrow. Kolarek, 6 pitches. You'll see him again tomorrow if you need be. Kenta Maeda, 5 pitches. 5 pitches for Kenta Maeda. I sound like the Count on Sesame Street. 5 pitches. Kenley Jansen, 9 pitches. Under 10 pitches for under 20 pitches between 3 guys, and Julio Urias only had 15. That's the way it's going to. They are all going to be ready, and especially when you're in a situation like this. So look, you're in a winning situation here. If you need them to win the game, you will pitch them, because then no matter what, they're off the next day. They're off on Tuesday. They wouldn't have to pitch again until Wednesday, possibly. And if you don't pitch on Wednesday, you're not pitching again until Friday. So that's a whole big long time in between. They will throw everybody will be available, especially since they were just off yesterday as well. And Kenley Jansen, that was his first appearance, so he's going to have plenty of time to come back out there. A bunch of people saying Fultonevich. I'm going to have to jump right past a bunch of those. Garcia B49er, Urias, Kolarek, Maeda, big 3. That's what you like right now. But those guys Kolarek is there for one reason and one reason only, and that is to get out lefties, and that is to get out Juan Soto. He is now 3 for 3 against Juan Soto with 2 strikeouts. The other one was a ground out. So he just cannot figure him out at the moment. Maybe he does next time, but I just don't. I think he's got him completely fooled right now. Urias, my boy came through today. Gotta love that. Trustin Hill, hope he goes 3. Go Dodgers. Kevin Reyes on YouTube, I feel like they should start Kike or Taylor instead of Pollock. He has 8 strikeouts. He has 9 strikeouts now, Pollock does, Kevin. Pollock should not be seen in any game unless he's coming in as a pinch hitter against one of their few lefties that they have, which is Patrick Corbin and Sean Doolittle. And that's it. Those are the only lefties that are on the entire pitching staff for the Washington Nationals. So I don't want to see A.J. Pollock again unless it's against one of those 2 guys. And even then, I really don't want to see him until the next round. Let's see. Trevor Jackson 11. Kolarek Maeda combos nails so far. It's been great because Kolarek goes to the lefty and then Maeda is just killer against righties, and that is perfect for the Nationals because the Nationals are a completely right-handed hitting team minus 2 guys, which I'm blanking on who the other one is, but either way, that's what's happening there. Jerry Wyatt, Facebook. Gonsolin had a postseason roster spot until his last appearance in San Francisco. No pressure situation. The kid couldn't hit his spots. There's a little bit of that, but it's also because Rich Hill took his spot. They weren't sure what was going on with Rich Hill. Rich Hill came out, pitched lights out on Sunday. Done. He's in. Dub Quacker 7. Imagine how many times we would strike out against Cole. Look, Cole is a fantastic pitcher. I'm not there yet. I'm sticking on, you know what, I'm not even going to get into that stuff. I still think they can get to any pitcher. I think they can. Strasburg completely held them off. Sanchez did, but it's all about getting to the back end of the bullpens where everybody else usually has bad ones as well. Trigwell Jeremy, yes, love the back end of that bullpen. Yeah, absolutely. Black Sunday 5150, go Raiders. Yeah, the Raiders got to win. How about that? 3-2 Raiders. All about that. Cyril LF4E Phil. Sorry, my brain doesn't click with that just yet. Not a Dodger question, but will there be a Mason and Ireland show tomorrow? Yes, there will be a Mason and Ireland show tomorrow. We're going to be on between 1:30 and 3, I believe. I think we're going on from 1:30 to 3. So there will be a Mason and Ireland show from 1:30 to 3 in between baseball leading up to the Dodger game. Double Dribble 17, are you sure about wanting the Cards? Too many bad memories. I don't care who we see in the NLCS. I think we're better than every one of those teams. If you look, the Braves' bats aren't alive by any means. They've been pretty bad except for -1 game, and they only came alive. The only time they've come alive is really against Carlos Martinez, so I don't really trust in them that much. Dakota 3, Rich Hill 4 innings, and Dodgers moving on to NLCS. Love the prediction. Love it. Heath Wade, Facebook. You couldn't be more right about Pollock. Pollock is a nut job. It hurts me right now. I really felt for AJ Pollock. I really thought he was going to have a big series. Just didn't work out. Choice Fielder, what's up, man? Dude, by the way, Choice Fielder, you have some great content. I love those graphs that you make. Pollock contracted whatever mental disease Grandal had last year. Pretty much, but except that he actually catches balls in the outfield, so, maybe that's a little bit different. Al's Acoustic, Greg, are you sick of my comments? No, I'm not sick of anybody's comments. I just don't want to say the same name over and over again. I'll read everybody's comments, so I'm going to try. If I skip over you, it's not on purpose. Most of the time, I just go by what I see, and whoever's name just kind of pops out. I try and hit some of the other sites more. Like, I'll try and hit the Periscope for a couple, and then I'll try and hit the Dodger Blue 1958 Facebook, or the Dodger Blue 1958 YouTube, and then I'll go over to Bergman Greg on Instagram, and I just try to jump around to the different sites, so I'm not just sticking to one over and over again. Max Scherzer on the mound tomorrow. Yes, says our games. He is going to be on the mound. That's what they're saying, at least. But who knows? They always like to go. They're going crazy. The fact that Max Scherzer isn't pitching until Game 4 is a little bit odd to me. But hey. Sunday Morning 85 on the Instagram. Do you agree that the Astros and Yankees aren't the best teams in the playoffs? They've had a cakewalk for their series. I think they're really good teams, and you can't count them out whatsoever. I think they're going to have a hell of a series in the ALCS, though. I personally, and look, I'm wearing a Dodger shirt that says That Funky Muncie. I'm wearing a Dodger hat that says Los Angeles Sangre Azul. I'm a gigantic Dodger homer. But from everything that I see, I still think the Dodgers are the best team top to bottom. I don't think we're going to see. I think they're the best team. The 106 wins for a reason. I know the Astros at 107, but this team just seems that they come back to win over and over again. They walked off 12 times or 13 times, I believe. I think they actually won in the bottom of the ninth after being down 7 or 8 times. They just don't. they don't quit. This team is never out of any game whatsoever. And so even if you're down by 4 runs and it's the 7th inning, I still believe that at some point they're going to get something together. They're going to hit the bullpen and they're going to score runs and they're going to take that and they're going to win a game because that's just what they do. I thought for sure they were going to get a hit off of what's his name, Daniel Hudson on Friday with the bases loaded. It didn't happen. I mean, they swung at some bad pitches, but that I honestly believed they were going to come back and win that game because that's just what they do all year long. Jay the Dodger, nice hat, thank you. Like I said, bleed los. Jorge Mercado, what are the chances the Dodgers leave Pollock locked in his hotel room during tomorrow's game? You know, sometimes if you got to do what you got to do, but no, I don't think he's going to start tomorrow. I would be very, very shocked, and I will kill, by the way, I will kill Dave Roberts, just like any other time, if they do that. If they put Pollock in that lineup again, I will absolutely destroy him and say, what are you thinking? He is 0 for 12 with 9 strikeouts. Not 0 for 11 with 9 strikeouts in the series. 9 strikeouts. He can't do a damn thing. Get him out of here. Some kind of wonder, how many pitches for Scherzer do you think? Scherzer is going to go as many as he can. I mean, he's a guy that can easily go 125 pitches. But, so like getting to him early is even more important because of that. Because of how they can get to, if you can get him out of the game early, if you can somehow figure out a way to get Scherzer out by the 5th or 6th inning and get to the bullpen and not see Steven Strasburg, then I think you're in a very good situation, although they probably would go there. Alicio Barbosa, getting runs with 2 outs will win us championship. They need to keep it up. I think that's the biggest thing that we need to talk about. The amount of runs scored, and I haven't looked it up. They scored all 6 of their runs in the first game with 2 outs. 4 of those runs were with runners in scoring position. In game 2, I think they got both of their runners. They got thinking about both their runs with 2 outs. And tonight, they got almost all of their runs. I'm not sure exactly. I need to look it up. But I think they got at least half or more off of runners in scoring position, 2 outs. 2 out runners in scoring position is a huge, huge stat for teams, especially in the postseason, and they're getting the job done. Not every time. Look, they're not going to score runs. They're not going to get the big hit every single time. But if they're getting the big hit more often than not with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, it's going to be a recipe for success, and they're going to win. I want the Yankees and Astros to beat each other up. Al's Acoustic, totally agree with you. D. Jimenez 789. Where can I get that hat? Look awesome. Bleed Los. Bleed Los. BLEEDLOS. Instagram, Facebook. That's where you can find this hat. And I got a whole bunch of them. I got my Los Angeles. Sorry, things are falling. Got my Los Angeles versus the World hat from Bleed Los. I have this one, this exact same one. It's over here. If you can see it, it's over there. It says Dodgers bleeds blue. This shirt, that funky Muncie, is also from Bleed Los. Go there right now. Dodgers are playing right now. Get your stuff. Lefty Tiff, so glad Roberts pulled Kelly before he did too much damage. That's a good sign, I think. I mean, he let him go to bases loaded, which was a little bit of a problem. I would have liked to have seen him out of the game a little bit earlier, especially, you can tell, you know when Bad Joe Kelly is out there. When Bad Joe Kelly is out there, he cannot find the zone, and he's throwing pitches way over guys' heads. He's throwing it outside. He's wild. When he's wild like that, you got to get him out of the game really, really fast because he doesn't have it. You know right away, this guy doesn't have it. So it's very easy to kind of tell when the best time to get him out of here is. Susie and Brand, let's go Dodgers. Yeah, love that. Jesus Rivera, he'll go 200 if he has to. Not sure what that was right. Muncy MVP of the series so far? Absolutely, Max Muncy is the MVP of the series so far. This one's the weird one. Antoine Jamal, fire Fraudman. All right. We need to let's go through this just real fast. We do this a lot, but I want to talk about it just for a second. For everybody that's out there that's saying fire Andrew Friedman, fire Dave Roberts, tell me who you would want instead. Who else do you think can put together a top five minor league system while still going to the World Series 2 years in a row and being the best team in baseball, the third year, with 106 wins, and still having a top 5 minor league system? You don't find that. That's not normal. That doesn't happen anywhere, ever. So no, you sign Andrew Friedman right back as fast as possible. Do not let him go anywhere. And Dave Roberts has done nothing but go to an NLCS, Then he went to 2 World Series, and now he's 1 game away from getting to another NLCS. No, absolutely not. Andrea8727, Urias came to the rescue again. He absolutely did. And like I saw earlier, 15 pitches to do all that. And he got a great double play ball from Howie Kendrick. Nationals' mindset is that this is the hardest series they'll have to play. They're up by 1 or 2 in the 8th or 9th. Wouldn't be surprised to see Strasburg come in to try and close it out. I wouldn't be surprised either. Strasburg, even though he's supposed to pitch on Friday, I don't think they'll do it. Let's see. Ken from Newport. Is this going to be a positive or negative comment? Ken from Newport. Start Martin and Freeze. Experience matters in the playoffs. All right, that was a completely reasonable comment. Thank you, Ken. Yes, look, that's very possible. I still think, I'm not sure if they're going to do that. I think they're going to go back to Will Smith. That's my total guess. But I still think they're going to go back to Will Smith. I think they're going to keep Muncy at first. They'll bring Freeze off the bench, but I don't think they're going to go back. I don't think they're going to start him again. Maybe they will. I mean, he went 3 for 3, and he had a huge hit after huge hit. So, yeah, he's a professional hitter. All for it if they do. I'm not against it in any sense. Double dribble 17 today. Most runs with 2 outs and 2 strikes. That's another one of those stats. By the way, to go back to the stat that we were talking about just a few minutes ago, 2 outs, 2 strikes, runners in scoring position. The Dodgers are the best team in baseball this year. The best team in baseball when they have 2 outs, 2 strikes, and runners in scoring position. If you don't think that's a big stat, it is a gigantic one, because just remember last year in the World Series, and really throughout the entire playoffs and most of the regular season as well, the biggest Achilles heel they had was not getting hits with runners in scoring position, not getting hits with 2 outs in runners in scoring position. They've changed that, and now they're the best team in baseball with 2 outs, 2 strikes, and runners in scoring position. Huge number right there. You keep saying fire Friedman. I'm not going to do it. His name is not. You're crazy to think that. I'm sorry. It just doesn't make any sense. Al's Acoustic. I just think Roberts takes a little long to take pitchers out that are struggling. Sometimes, yes, absolutely. I think that a lot of that has to do with, yes, Andrew Friedman and him have an idea when to take some guys out, when to not be able to do, when the right time and wrong time is to do those types of things. But he took a little bit longer. I would have taken out Joe Kelly 1 batter earlier than he did, instead of letting him walk another guy and get the bases loaded. That was just not the right call. A run scored because of that. If you didn't do that and you brought in Urias before that, the run doesn't probably score there. So I would have been okay with not doing that. Trigwell Jeremy, crazy talk. Friedman and Roberts have been exceptional. Yeah, and tell me who else you'd want besides it, because really there isn't anybody else that you would want. And don't say like somebody like Mike Scioscia, who doesn't even believe in analytics. You got to have some kind of balance. Let's see. Oh, here's a big one. What is this one saying? M. Lepe 23 or LEPE 23. I like the Dodgers' chances against the Yankees, but against the Astros will be a huge problem with their pitching. We have good pitching, but the Astros might have better pitching. Now, this is just for a second. I'm not going into the World Series. It's way too early. The Dodgers own Zach Greinke. Your number 3 starter, they absolutely own. So if you can take one of those games from Verlander or Scherzer, and by the way, the last time they saw Justin Verlander in the postseason in the World Series, they should have won both the games. He left the game losing both of those games. He was 0-1 in the World Series, and the only reason he wasn't 0-2 was because Kenley Jansen gave up a home run to Marwin Gonzalez in the top of the 9th to not get that. So Justin Verlander, another guy, he pitched well, but he didn't get the win in either of those games, did not factor into those games, and neither did, and Zach Greinke they own. So if you can get to Cole or Verlander and you can destroy Greinke, all about it. All right, that's enough of that. Al's Acoustic. Smith has better defense. Yes, he does have better defense. Nope, not Will Smith till the next round. Well, we'll see in X on 0. It just depends on what they want to do. Ashenka, I'm so very glad to see Cody get a couple hits and better at bats tonight. He needed that. So, okay, let's go back to Cody Bellinger. Yes, he's been bad. I'm not trying to say anything else beyond the fact that he was bad. In Game 2, he was really bad. In Game 1, he was 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Now, those 2 walks were really big walks, though. They weren't just random, like, oh, he just was, it was easy, just take your base walks. They were worked walks where he was taking his time, waiting for good pitches, being patient, and getting those walks. And one of them, he ended up scoring a run on that ended up being what would have been the game-winning run because of what he did, because it knocked Patrick Corbin out of the game that early because he got on base. He walked, and then Chris Taylor got on base because Harry Kendrick messed up again, and then I think it was Corey Seager then ended up getting a hit, and they ended up, or Max Muncy ended up getting a hit, bringing some guys home, and that totally changed the complexion of the game. That was it. It was it. It was a huge at bat. It was huge walks for him. So game 1, good at bats. Game 3, good at bats. Game 2, bad at bats. Early in the game, by the way, Bellinger was not good. Nobody was able to figure out Anibal Sanchez. Ashinka, offense in game 2 is more of a reason we didn't sweep than Kirsch. He had a solid game. Solid game. He was terrible in the first 2 innings. Absolutely horrendous. He was lucky that he was able to keep it down to 3 runs, but he was bad in the first 2 innings. After that, he settled down and ended up getting through 6. Kai-san, I'm sorry. I don't read that. I'm sorry. It's on YouTube. It's in Korean or Japanese or Chinese, and I'm sorry. I can't read that. So if you can figure out a way to put it in English, I'd be happy to read it. D. Jimenez 789. Hill outpitched Verlander in that game. Yes. Oh, yeah. Hill outpitched Verlander in both games in the World Series. Both of those games. Hill should have won both of them. He won one and didn't get the decision in the other one because of the home run. So, yes. Dodger hitters didn't have quality at-bats in Game 2. They did not. But also, it was tough to have quality at-bats because of the way that Steven Strasburg was pitching. Strasburg was pitching a hell of a game. There was an absolute nothing but a beautiful gem from Steven Strasburg, and I have to give him credit for it because it was unbelievable to watch. Alzakus, I want revenge against the Astros. Bring them on. I want to see the Yankees just because I want to be able to see Yankees-Dodgers in my lifetime. But again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Not enough of the World Series talk. We're not there. Choice fielder. Dodgers have best OBA, which is on-base average, weighted on-base average against fastballs in baseball. Will play well against Houston. Yes. It's so some of those stats are tough to really get my head around, but yes, they do have the best fastballs. They are the best team in baseball against fastballs. Kershaw has over a 5 rating in first inning. It stresses me out. Some kind of wonder is sending me a link that I'm not going to be able to read. Masanori Kishihara says Cody had better at bats tonight. Everyone had great at bats in the 6th. Go Dodgers. Yes, they were much, much better in the 6th. Obviously, that's when everything just kind of Anibal Sanchez was out of the game, and they went nuts on Patrick Corbin. Lefty Tiff, do you feel more confident about the 2019 Dodgers in comparison to the 2017-2018 Dodgers? Yes, I do, absolutely. I think this is the best Dodger team that I've ever witnessed in my lifetime, and that's not hyperbole. I'm 35 years old, so I'm not crazy old, but this is the best team I have ever seen in baseball for the Dodgers. This is the best Dodger team I've ever watched. Period. End of story. The way that what they do, they have great starting pitching. The bullpen is top 5 in all of baseball. They have patient at bats. They work the count. They have huge home run hitters. Max Muncy has been fantastic. Cody Bellinger is going to be an MVP candidate if he's not the MVP for the regular season. Hyun-Jin Ryu should probably still win the Cy Young, even though it's kind of up in the air. Everything they hit with 2 outs, they hit with 2 strikes and 2 outs, they hit with runners in scoring position. They do everything that you need to do to be a successful baseball team. So yes, this is the best Dodger team I have ever witnessed in my life. Let's see, Eniento07, Hill outduels Scherzer tomorrow. I wouldn't say outduel because I don't expect Hill to go much longer than 3 to 4 innings. If he goes any longer than that, I'll be shocked and happy. Because if he goes longer than 4 innings, that means that he is pitching lights out and he feels great and he's keeping guys off balance and he's got 0 runs against him and he's just pitching like he does in the playoffs. So if he goes longer, then sure, but I just can't imagine him going longer than 3 or 4 innings. Choice fielder, it was Hill versus Scherzer in Game 5 of 2016 NLDS. Yes, it was. Oh yeah, that's right. And that was the game that Hill was winning, Hill was winning, and then Kershaw came out of the bullpen and got the save because Kenley pitched the 8th inning and Kershaw pitched the 9th inning for the save. So yes, there you go. There's another one of those. I like that. Eli Dugan, what was the name of the hat company again? Bleed Los. Bleed, BLEEDLOS. Bleed Los. This is where you get all these hats, shirts, the whole deal. Hill is good. I like his competitive spirit. I love his competitive spirit. You kidding? He loves to he grunts and he yells and he screams and he goes nuts. And I love him in the batter's box too. It's so fun to watch him. It's crazy. Cesar Game says, this Dodger team reminds me of the Red Sox of last year. Yeah, and very much so. And they'll be willing to use guys out of the bullpen, starters out of the bullpen too. D. Jimenez 789. I hope Beatty starts instead of Pollock in the outfield. Smith catches and maybe Bellinger and Seager get better hits. Hill will put in a good effort, but bats need to do their part against Scherzer. Yes, they do. I would not expect Beatty to get that start. I would assume that it would either be Kike or Taylor that ends up starting in left field with Jock in right. My guess would be that it would be Kike. And I think the way that Kike played today was so much different than the way that Taylor did. So I think Kike is going to get that start over Taylor. I didn't even notice. I have a minute and a half left, so I'm going to try and get one or two more questions each, and then I'm out of here. Let's start with Instagram. Instagram's over here. Dodger 35-22-10. How many runs do you think the Dodgers will get off Scherzer? 3 to 4. I think they do get 3 to 4 runs off of Scherzer himself. The rest of it is going to be off of the bullpen. To Rawowsko 94. Pollock has a 75% K rate this postseason. Worry and or possibly sit. Sit him. Sit AJ Pollock. I do not want to see him in this game again. Why Smith over Martin though? Just because I think they like his bat more. They think that he still has better defense. They like his bat better, and I think that they're just going to go back to him because I think they're hoping that he can provide another big spark. Bob Bowman 66. I see the Dodgers opening up early on Scherzer and taking the crowd out. That's exactly what I'm hoping too. All right, I'm going to see if I can get one more in, and then I'm out of here. Choice fielder. I wonder if Martin catches Hill. He caught him more this year. Maybe he does. We'll see. But I would assume it's going to be Smith. But it could very well, if Martin is starting tomorrow, it's because Martin had such a great game today. That's why he's going to be there. All right, that's it for me. I'm back here tomorrow right after the game, just like every other postseason game. I will be here with you guys. So thank you for being on the Blue Review. Thank you to Dodger Blue 1958 for allowing me on their platforms, and thank you to ESPN Los Angeles for letting me do this on their Periscope as well. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Dodgers win. Let's go. I'm out of here. See ya.